We'll now discuss with Employee State Insurance Act. So this is Employee State Insurance Act 1948. So this is the first act which comes under as a social security legislation. So this is a very important act which is meant for socio-economic protection to worker population and as well as their dependents. So here the comprehensive and multi-pronged social security program. So this is actually considered to be a social security program, which is administered by an apex corporate body called Employee State Insurance Corporation, ESIC. So this is a responsible corporation for dealing with all the insurance policies that employees have and the benefits that they can avail using this insurance, State Insurance Act. So the ESI Act 1948, it encompasses certain health-related eventualities that the workers are generally exposed to. So here, these are some of the things that is covered under this ESI Act 1948. So this covers sickness, maternity issues, temporary or permanent disablement, or occupational disease or death due to employment injury, resulting in loss of wages or earning capacity, total or partial. So these are some of the health related eventualities that are covered under this ESI Act. So here this ESI Act is meant for not all the workmen or the employees who are working for a factory or establishments. So here we'll be seeing who are the employees which are covered under this Employee State Insurance Act 1948. So this is the coverage and applicability of this ESIA, right? Employee State Insurance Act 1948 cover. So this is the applicability. So under section 212, the act is applicable to non-seasonal factories employing 10 or more persons. So here, not all the factories will be covered here under this act. So non-seasonal factories. So this is under section 212 and section 1(5) of the act. The scheme has also been extended to shops, hotels, restaurants, cinema theaters or cinemas, including preview theaters, road motor transport undertakings, and newspaper establishments employing 10 or more persons. So this is under this act, all these are covered. And further, under section 1(5) of the act, the scheme has also been extended to private medical and educational institutions employing 10 or more persons in certain states and union territories. So this is not applicable to all the states here in India. So we also have certain certain states which are enjoying this employee state insurance benefits. So these are the areas covered under this scheme. So the ESI scheme is now notified in 526 districts in 34 states and union territories, which include 346 complete district, 95 district headquarters, and in 85 districts. So here the scheme is implemented in centers. So and the scheme is yet to be implemented in Arunachal Pradesh and Lakshadweep. So these are the two states which are not covered under this scheme, ESI scheme. So this is with regard to the coverage, applicability, and the areas covered. So here this ESIA Act, right? So Employee State Insurance Act, it is a self-financing health insurance scheme. So this is applicable to all factories working with aid of power where 10 or more workers are employed, and as well as all factories working without aid of power where 20 or more workers are employed. So here all the factory establishments and not only the factory establishments but also the seasonal factories, and so here factories under the Yes, yeah. So ESI Act 1948 is applicable to all the factories working with the aid of power. So these are the two things which is applicable. So here ESI Act is not applicable to seasonal factories, factories under the control of government where employees are getting better benefits. So here the state government employees or which is directly under the control of government, whichever factory is running, so and who are getting better benefits than this act offers. So in that cases ESI Act is not applicable there. And in Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force is not covered under this act. Then the factories working with aid of power where less than 10 workers are employed. So here, like where 10 or more workers only is covered here under ESI Act. So not less than 10 workers. And the factories without the aid of power where less than 10, sorry, this one is 20 workers. So this is a mistake here. So here we should have 20 workers. So factories working without the aid of power where less than 20 workers are employed, and it should not be a mine, and employees drawing wages exceeding such amount as may be specified. So now it is rupees 10,000. So all these are some of the situations where the ESI Act is not applicable. So here, which is applicable only to the factories with some conditions here. So these are some of the benefits under this Employee State Insurance Act. So this is as provided in section 46 of the ESI Act. The insured person and their dependents shall be entitled to the following benefits. So here the first one is sickness benefit. So a periodical payment is being made to any insured person in case of his sickness. So that should be certified by a duly appointed medical practitioner. Only in this case, or only with that certificate, we can apply and we can avail the benefit. So this is the sickness benefit, and the maternity benefit is periodic payment to an insured woman in case of miscarriage or sickness arising out of pregnancy, then premature birth of child, certified by an authority specified in this behalf by the regulation. So this is maternity benefit that women can enjoy, and the disablement benefit. So this is also a periodical payment to any insured person suffering from disablement. So here, this is in case of insurance, like the Employee State Insurance Act. So this disablement benefit can be enjoyed by any insured person who is suffering from disablement as a result of an employment injury sustained as an employee under the ESI Act. So this is disablement benefit. Then dependence benefit is periodical payment to dependents of insured person who dies as a result of an employment injury sustained as an employee under ESI Act 1948 provisions. And the next one is medical benefit. So here the medical treatment for an attendance on insured person. So if he is having an insurance policy under this act, then he can also avail this medical benefit. So, and the funeral expenses also this act covers. So here a payment towards expenditure on the funeral of the died insured person. So these are some of the benefits as per section 46 of the ESI Act. And these are the disablement benefits. A person can claim disablement benefits for temporary disablement for not less than 3 days for the period of such disablement, right? So excluding the day of accident for not less than 3 days. So here he can able to claim the disablement benefits. So in case of temporary disablement. So like within 3 days, he cannot get that benefit, okay, for the periods of such disablement. A person qualified to claim periodical payment for permanent disablement. So this is for temporary disablement. So here a person, he is actually qualified to claim periodical payment for permanent disablement sustained as an employee, whether total or partial, for such disablement. So here in this case of permanent disablement, he can get from the employee, so this is the two different types of disablements which this Insurance Act cover. So the disablement benefits shall be payable to the insured person as follows. So here, for temporary disablement at the full rate as prescribed under this ESI Act 1948. So this is 1948 provisions. So according to this ESI Act 1948 provision, at the full rate, the amount will be settled to the insured person. And for permanent disablement at the full rate as prescribed under this ESI Act 1948 provisions, so they have to give. So this is with regard to the disablement benefits. So here there are only two different types of disablement. One is temporary disablement and permanent disablement. So everything is specified here in this ESI Act 1948 provisions. So all the companies or the organization has to abide by it. So the dependence benefit, so the dependence benefit shall be paid to the dependents of the insured person who dies as a result of an employment, injury in the following manner. So here, in case if she is a widow, during the life until remarriage, an amount equivalent to 3/5 of the full rate, and in case of two widows of same individual, the amount can be divided equally between the two widows. So this is the first benefit, the dependent benefit. So, and the next dependent could be to each legitimate or adopted son, an amount equivalent to 2/5 of the full rate until he attains the age of 18 years. So he'll be given the amount of 2/5 of the full rate. So, and this is the third case, to each legitimate or adopted unmarried daughter. Right? If she is a married one, then she will not be covered under this dependent benefit. So if she is an adopted unmarried daughter, an equivalent amount to 2/5 of the full rate until she attains the age of 18 years or until marriage. So till the number of years specified, he or she should be eligible to get. So to the widowed mother during life, an amount equivalent to 2/5 of the full rate. So these are the dependence benefit. And the contribution payable under ESI Act 1948. So here, section 39 of the ESI Act. So this provides the following provisions for contribution. So here the contribution payable in respect of an employee shall comprise contribution by the employer and by the employee, and shall be paid to the ESIC, right? So here specific amount will be given to this employee state insurance corporation. So during the tenure of his employment, some amount will be given to the employee state insurance corporation by the employer, and here some contribution can also be made by the employer and as well as the employee. So here, if any contribution is not paid by the principal employer on the date on which such contributions become due, he shall be responsible and liable to pay simple interest of 12% per annum, or at such higher rate as may be specified in the regulation till the date of its actual payment. So if the employer is not paying the contribution of that particular employee, then what is the what should be the contribution made by the employer is, he needs to pay the contribution along with a simple interest of 12% per annum, or at such higher rate, right? So, and he should make till the actual payment is made, he should pay according to this interest, simple interest of 12%. and the employee's contribution shall be payable by or on behalf of an employee whose average daily wages during a wage period are below rupees 10,000 per month as per current ESI Act provisions. So it is defined by central government. So the contribution both of employees and employers shall be payable by the principal employer to ESI. So this is I corporation within the prescribed time limit. So here within the prescribed time limit, so the contribution both of employees and employers should be payable by the principal employer to ESI corporation. And the principal employer can't deduct employer's contribution from any wages payable to the employee, nor can recover it from the employee. Right? So whatever the contribution that he is making to the employees, that should not be scaled down, or it should not like what from any wages payable employee, nor can he recover it from the employee. He should not, or he is not having any right to recover that from the employee, whatever the contribution that he is making, right, to the employee. So these are some of the contribution payable under ESI Act 1948. So this is the rate of contribution. So as I already told you, the employer's contribution should be given and employee's contribution will also be deducted, right? So this is the amount. The employer's contribution is equal to 4.75% of the wages payable to an employee, and this is the employee's contribution. So this is equal to 1.75% of the wages payable to an employee. So this is the current rate as per Rule 51 of the ESI Act. So this is the rate of contribution. And what are all the protection that the employee can enjoy in this ESI Act 1948? So an employer cannot dismiss or punish an employee under treatment for sickness. So if he is under any treatment, he should not be dismissed or punished in receipt of any benefit or absent from work due to illness. So due to illness, if he is absent and if he is under the treatment for sickness, so in that case, he cannot be punished or dismissed. So any notice of dismissal, discharge, or reduction is invalid in this period. However, the employer can discharge or punish only if in these conditions, right? The punish the employee if he has received temporary disablement benefit and remained absent for 6 months or more. So in that case, he can discharge or punish the employee. So he has received temporary disablement benefit, and after also he should not be able to join the company. Then in that case, they can punish the employee. And the second one is under treatment for sickness other than TB, right? So in case of tuberculosis, so he is having some benefit. So if he is under treatment for sickness other than TB or arising out of pregnancy and remained absent for 6 months or more, then he can discharge or punish the employee. And is under medical treatment for TB or a malignant disease and has remained absent continuously for 18 months or more, so in that case also he can discharge or punish the employee, right? So so if he is under a medical treatment, so this is for tuberculosis, if he is getting any medical treatment or any kind of malignant disease, and if he couldn't able to join the company for more than 18 months, then in that case, he can discharge or punish the employee. So this is under ESI Act 1948. So the first thing is the protective measure or the protection given to the employees, but in these cases, he can also be punished under this act. So this is miscellaneous provisions that are covered under this act ESI. cash benefits payable under the ESI Act are not liable to attachment or sale in execution of any court decree or order. So here the cash benefits under the ESI Act are not liable. So the second one is right to receive benefit is not transferable, right? And the third one is disputes under the provisions of the Act to be decided by the employee's insurance court and not by a civil court. So if there are any kind of disputes which often occurs in the provisions of the Act, so that is dealt with employees insurance code EIC, but not by the civil court. So here appeals to the High Court only by an order of the EIC on a question of law. And the last one is period of limitation for appeal is 60 days. So within 60 days, they can go for an appeal. So this is the miscellaneous provisions covered under the ESI Act. And the last one is the penalties. So here, if the employers are not giving the contribution as specified by the ESI Act, so in such cases, there are some penalties also which are covered under this ESI Act 1948. So different punishments have been prescribed for different types of offenses in terms of Section 85. So these are some of the offenses made or the punishments given for certain types of offenses. So the first one is 6 months imprisonment and fine of ₹5,000 is also made. So it depends upon the type of offense, and 1 year imprisonment and fine. And according to Section 85A, 5 years imprisonment and not less to 2 years. And according to 85C, Section 2, this is Schedule 2 of the ESI Act, which are self-explanatory. And besides these provisions, action can also be taken under Section 406 of the IPC in cases where an employer deducts contributions from the wages of his employees, but does not pay the same to the corporation, which amounts to criminal breach of trust. So in this case, according to the Section 406 of the IPC, so some penalties are made. So these are some of the things related to this Act, ESIC, Employee State Insurance Act. Thank you all.